Yeehaw! Hello. How is everybody doing? It is Sunday. We are streaming live from Chrysalis Studios in a very, very chilly Canada. Hopefully, my dog is making lots of sounds. Hopefully, it is warm where you are because it sure as poo isn't warm here. It's minus, I guess, Fahrenheit, it would be minus 31 with the wind chill currently. And it's cold. So hopefully it's better than that where you are. It's making priming and sealing obviously a little bit more challenging than it would otherwise for most of my Canadian fellow participants of NaMoPaiMo, in the area at least. It is the second day of NaMoPaiMo. So National Model Horse Painting Month started February 1st for those of you that have been following along. I talked about it lots last stream. We'll talk about it a little bit more this stream, go over some of the stuff that's happening on Facebook. I will, spoiler alert, I haven't started my pony yet. I need to put another layer of primer on him, but I have color picked out and we chatted about that last time. So I'll show you what I'd picked. We can talk a little bit about some of the stuff that I got to hopefully make this color work. It's a challenging color for me for a few reasons that we'll chat about a little bit later. So yeah, hopefully everybody's doing good. We've got some people in the chat already. We have Lizzie. Good morning, Lizzie. I am backwards. Oh, I am backwards. What the heck? Ta-da! I was messing with my settings and obviously they did a whole bunch of updates to Restream and normally it automatically mirrors me so that you can read things the appropriate way. We just scrambled your brain cells a little bit this morning. Just checking if you're awake. You got it. Amy, good morning. Connection is wonky. Hopefully that works. But yeah, that's kind of fun. We can just keep flipping it back and forth. I was wondering why it looked a little bit weird, but my brain did not clue into the fact that it was mirrored or not mirrored, I guess. So yeah, stand back. I'm having a creative moment. You can actually read my shirt now. That's cool. Kimberly. Hello, Kimberly. What are you doing? You're being very noisy. He's like, I have a bully stick and I'm not afraid to use it. So yeah, it is lots of fun. Okay, he's going to take it someplace quieter. Bye. That was short-lived. I have my cart of infinite joys here, which contains all my airbrush stuff. That is how I'm going to do my NaMoPaiMo horse, and I'll talk about that a little bit too. But we have BreyerFest updates. So on that note, Nash was the one who threw me. I was like, he's actually in the other corner. Like, I'm used to looking here. What happened? She changed her studio around. That would be normal. Wearing a shirt with backwards text, totally normal. But the dog placement is weird. It's awesome. All right, I'm going to try a new thing. Ta-da! We have tickers. Da-da-da. We're going to do BreyerFest updates right now. And there's been a few of them. So they released the last of the limited editions, and we now have contest theme announcements. So let us go, oopsies, to the Breyer page, which is taking me a second to figure out where they put it. Ha 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 ha. All right. So can I? It won't let me do that thing. Let's see if I can fix this. Hold on one second. Okay. We're just going to leave it. I can always make this bigger in a second. So this is the first one we got on the roster, A Big Party. So they talk a little bit about the jumping horse done by Chris Hess. That was done in 1965. So we've come a long way between the Chris Hess version and the Bristol version, which is Morgan Kilburn. So that was Bristol in the premiere coloration, and now we have a very, very pretty Bay Tobiano that is very lovely. So I think this one's going to be pretty popular. They've immortalized horses like Voyer and Clooney 51, and now we have Hoopla, which is kind of a fun name too. So, yay. There's the other side. I will zoom in here and make it a little bit easier on you guys to see what's going on. Very, very pretty. He's got a really nice eye. Really nice face. Really nice color. I'm a sucker for bays though, so that is a thing. Some shading in the tail, little shoes. Looks like there might, no, that doesn't look like there's apples. I was going to say there might be something going on in the flank here, but I don't think so. Other side of the face, super cute. So that's a limited edition. They did release pricing. I'll see if I can track that down for all the limited editions too. Then we have and that was a online exclusive. So you can't get it at the park in person. You can obviously order it from the park, from your phone, which is what I did with Blue Zeus last year. And this is another limited edition for online only, and it is the stablemate one. So last year they had Blue Zeus and I did this last time. Wild Thing, the little color shifty dude. So they've done all sorts of horses on this mold. They immortalized one of the Kentucky Horse Park police ponies. And now we have this cute thing called Shindig, which is quite a cute color for him. Little pig nose, little tiny bunny rabbit ears. It's like little teddy bear ears, not bunny rabbit ears. They're so cute and small. Very, very cute. It's a really, really cool color. I think this one's going to do really well for them. So that'll be cute. Then we went to the plush. So every year they do a plush, as you guys know. They've done them usually themed to whatever the theme is. So this is Palomine, their mascot. And Palomine gets to wear a little party hat and has a little froggy nose, which is kind of cute. Very, very cute. And I like the sash. The sash is quite cute as well. So looks like they come with two different colors of pom-pom on the hats, yellow or blue. So depending on what your preference is, those are both Breyer colors. So I don't know that they'll necessarily let you pick if you have a favorite, but maybe they will. I don't know. Or you can trade somebody. So if you wanted to have a complete plush collection, technically, I guess you would need both of them. So let's see how that goes. Then let's see. Good morning, Brenda. How's it going? Lizzie says, not usually a fan of the mold, but I really like this color on him. Yeah, it's a cute color. So I don't know. Gail's saying, hi, Gail. Good morning. NaMoPaiMo, Team Canada, Team Alberta, Team Leopard-Appaloosa. I wish I could say I was Team Leopard-Appaloosa. I'm Team, I don't even know what color I'm doing, but I am the other teams, so it works out. We have a crystal, which is always highly collectible. And that is Banner, which is done in the Tortuga style, tortoise shelly, delicious color that I hope they do on Fireheart one of these days. That would be super cool. And that Saddlebred is our crystal. So these ones are actually breakable. I have seen several. I have the little crystal huck above me on my shelf. They are very, very cute. He was actually very challenging because he's not exactly, he's on a base. So that was sketchy in crystal format because he's tippy. So he's basically glued to my shelf, so he doesn't do anything. This is a little bit more stable because he's on all 4 feet, but very, very cute. They do have to do, I don't even know what the process necessarily is for how they do them. I think they're done kind of sort of by hand. I have no idea what the process is. It looks like it because of how they have to draw out the hair and the eyes and the ears and stuff. It's quite the deal, which makes them kind of neat. They don't do more like they used to do China horses and stuff fairly often, but they don't do that anymore. So that was the last of the limited editions. And then they announced contests on the 31st. So their contest, they normally do a diorama contest. This will be celebrating 75 years of Breyer history. So that's fairly open to interpretation, however you want to do that. I think it's going to be quite creative this year because there's a lot of different places that you can go with the celebrating Breyer 75th anniversary. And they've been around since 1950, which is quite a long time. Lots have happened since then. And I imagine that if you go through their blog, some of that might give you some hints as to ideas to run with, things that they've delved into with the history of Breyer. So if you aren't sure where to start, that might help out. What else do we got? They have the rules and regulations. Looks like UK entrants have an option to do their stuff too, but it's a separate thing. I'm not going to go into that because I didn't even notice, but they have a privacy notice. But if you want to know more about the rules, you can click on that. It'll open up a PDF. It shows all the stuff. And then they have their BreyerFest Best Customs Contest. The 2025 divisions are Excellence in Finish Work. And then they have Fantasy. Then Most Extreme Custom. And then they have their Performance Excellence. Their Performance Excellence category back, which is kind of cool. Excellence in Tack Making, which is always nice to have our wonderfully talented tack makers be recognized as well. And then Model Glow Ups, because that's always fun. So you take a model, you try not to change it too much, but you change it enough that you give it a glow up and make it really cool. So that was Lady Roxana by Laura Saylor Skillern from 2 years ago, I believe. So yeah, or this year. No, it was 2 years ago. No, this is last year. I don't know. Anyway, so they have their contest rules and information. It is, let's see if it'll let me show the rules. It will. This is what the rolled PDF looks like. This is the 2025 version. Let's see. Excellence in Finish Work. It tells you kind of what they're looking for each of the categories. I'm just going to see if there's any changes to residents. Open to legal residents of the U.S., excluding Arizona, Colorado, Connecticut, Nebraska, North Dakota, and whatever MD and VT are, because my brain has fried. You have to be 14 and up with an email account, and parental consent is required if you were under 18. All legal U.S. residents. So again, not open to internationals of any sort, and closed to some American places because of regulations in your state. So yeah, fun. Tells you what the limitations are. It's limited to 24 by 24. All your photographs, how you do it, judging, the percentage breakdown of how the categories work, that sort of thing. They have first place prize consisting of special edition BreyerFest Best Customs Traditional Model Circle, looks like. Circle. Model BVEV 10526. Estimated value of $1,000. And then first place Rosette. Second place prize is Skal. It's saying here. I don't know if that's changed from last year. They sound very Icelandic. I don't know. So we'll see what the prizes actually are, if that is correct. But we have names. We haven't actually seen the actual prize models yet. That will be coming in future posts from Breyer on their BreyerFest blog. So yeah. And then more on the official rules, blah, 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 blah. You guys know the deal. So yeah, that is the BreyerFest update for what they posted from last week. We'll see the prize models come out. We'll see they don't have all of the information up as far as I understand. We'll learn a little bit more about how stuff's going to work as they go on. The tickets go on sale right away here, so I imagine that they're going to do prizes and then go. Well, and we haven't seen the raffle horses, so that is another thing that they still need to reveal. Then we'll go from there. It'll be fun. So yeah, that's where that is at for now. Hopefully there's something that gets you excited in there. I know I will be picking up some ponies. And in other BreyerFesty news, unfortunately, It looks like things have changed a little bit and I won't be able to attend in person this year, but I plan on participating through the computer. So there'll be something fun coming with that, and I will have some interesting things to share hopefully soon. So yeah, there's that. Hopefully nobody's too disappointed that I'm not able to go this year. Unfortunately, I had a place all set up and things worked out, and some stuff has come up and it's not possible for me this year. But hopefully in future years, I'll be able to come back and that'll be kind of cool. It's kind of sucky that I don't get to participate in the big 75th anniversary celebration, but for those of you that are going, you're going to have a great time. And remember, there's still possibilities of micro runs. So that is the thing. Brenda's saying she loves the crystal. I really like the saddle bread. I really like Moody's work, so I think it's a nice pony. Amy, I really like that they're doing the model glow ups again. It's a really cool division because it lets the artists kind of riff off of stuff. And there's always that little side of you don't really want to offend the original artist of whatever created the horse by making it technically better or giving it a glow up, but that's part of the deal of model horses and doing stuff. So I think we all understand how that works. Carol, hello. Howdy from Tennessee. Maryland and Vermont. Thank you, Lizzie. My brain was like, I know the V1 and I know the M1, but my brain is melting. We are currently going through a lot of stuff in Canada and the US, if you have been paying attention to newsy things at all, which we won't go into because we're not political in this studio or on the show. And the only thing I need to touch on, I guess, is at this time, I don't know how the tariff situation is going to impact things crossing the border for me because I am in Canada and I do ship you guys pretty little ponies. At this time, there is an exception for anything with an 800 value or lower that is crossing the border. And from my understanding from my shipper, as it stands right now, and I've heard whisperings that that rule might be removed. As it stands right now, anything that's $800 or under for value will be fine for right now. This could change second to second. I will keep you guys as up to date as I know, and we'll go from there. Canada doesn't have a lot of weight to throw around with these tariffs, so I don't imagine that this is going to last a very long time. Yeah. You will see how it goes. So yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that. I'll keep you guys in the loop about what that affects for the studio and any purchases that you might have made or might make in the future. But for now, we don't know much. We have Michelle. Hello, Michelle. Country Chic Creations. Hello. Montana. Fireheart started today. That's exciting. Yeah, it'd be kind of cool to hear. Oh, Circle is Hungarian for rooting for or cheering on. My family is Hungarian. Oh, that's cool. That'll be really neat. So we'll see what the prize models look like. There's a lot of possibilities for that and for the surprise horse, and people have been guessing like crazy. So we'll see what comes up for that. All right. Let us do a quick NaMoPaiMo dealio. Let's see. So you can tag Team Raven if you're painting something from Crystal Studios, and that'll be an easy way for me to find stuff for the stream, as well as to find your community and cheer each other on and just have fun. But for me, finding tags and saving things and showing them on the stream, that's probably the easiest way to do it. I will show you guys some stuff now. So over on Facebook is where the majority of the NaMoPaiMo stuff is going on. National Model Horse Painting Month is day 2. Some people are like almost done or have 15 things on the go. It's insane. I'm just blown away by people, and it's very inspiring. That's one of the things that's really cool about NaMoPaiMo is how inspiring it is to get in there and see everybody doing great and some people struggling and helping people through struggling, and there's just so much good here. Gather the juicy tenderness of this wonderful event, save it in a safe space in your heart for re-energizing your soul for months to come, because this is awesome. This is Ellen Kennedy. Ellen is painting a whole bunch of cool stuff, including some of my medallions, and basically how the contest is going to work, or is working, is anything that is sculpted by me. So Tender Moments, for example. This is Precious, and then we have the Drama Club and a whole bunch of other stuff. Every single thing that you've painted that is sculpted by me, whether that's a commercial piece produced by Stone or Breyer, so Fireheart, the Resin Justify, the Stone Cob in all of its forms, Mini Fireheart, any of my medallions, any of my resins, anything like that. It doesn't have to be an official NaMoPaiMo entry because you can't enter medallions officially, but you can double qualify by painting a Stone Cob. You would have had to have entered NaMoPaiMo with that officially to qualify for the Stone contest, but those do go double qualify for both contests. And anything that's finished during this February, so this month, qualifies. You can submit it by email. There's no limitation on how many you do. So there's people that are taking advantage of that, which is kind of cool. It'll be really exciting to see a whole bunch of pieces painted. So that's kind of fun. Jody is starting a thread of people that are painting for Team Raven and all my stuff, which is kind of cool. We are using a tag that was used in previous years. People were asking if you use Team Crystal Studios or Team Raven or whatever. Most people will say Team Last Minute. There's Team Stone down here. So it just gives people a way to find stuff that's going on, and it's kind of fun. So Jill Webb is also painting a double qualifier. So a Stone Cob, a Bitty Biter, and a Little Bucker for the minis painting minis, which is kind of a fun thing to follow along. If you aren't following it, there's a hashtag for that as well. Very, very cool. So in Jody's thing, there's a whole bunch of people that are showing their stuff, which is very cool. We've got little fire hearts. We've got a tiger lily. Go, Ashley. Beatrice is painting a little cob, which looks like it is the Pebbles cob, because there's 3 sizes. There's 4 sizes, technically. There's the traditional resin, the stone plastic version, which is a little bit smaller, significantly smaller. The Pebbles, which is reversed to what the original was. And then, so that's little bits-ish size. And then there's a micro, which is really small. There's Carrie, looks like painting along. Marty Walls is doing a Noki, little venti Noki. Twyla is painting a Peggy medallion in Sunburnt Black. Andrea is painting a Blackthorn as an unofficial project, which is very cool. That is a Warm Blood that I did a couple years back or was it last year? Might have been a couple years back for the Medallion Club. Becky Murphy is painting a Bitty Biter. See, this is why it's nice to do the tags, because then I can find you all. Follow all the goodness. And then a reverse Valkyrie medallion. So it looks like Bitty Biter is unofficial. Registration didn't go through. Shoot. Little Bucker will be a black splash or a blue roan splash. And reverse Valkyrie medallion, Tender Moments, will also be a portrait of her mother and herself, which is very cool. Becky reached out to tell me that that was what she wanted to do with the medallion, and it's a very, very cool thing for me. It's anytime people do portraits or stuff like that, it's just extra heartwarming to have my piece resonate so much that you would want to add that extra specialness to it. Is very cool. Let me see. People cheering everybody on all over the place, which is very cool. Jessica Heyman's doing a Nemesis medallion for Minis Painting Minis. That's the hashtag for Minis Painting Minis. Dun, 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 which is bigger than they are. She's saying it's a big challenge. And then Christine Lewis is doing Big Biter. Haley is also doing Big Biter, which is very exciting. And Katie is doing a very cool Fireheart custom. If you've been following along, there's some pretty awesome stuff going on there. Christine Lewis is doing a mini Lavar little guy for Minis Painting Minis. There's lots of cool stuff going on. I'm very excited. Let us go back. So there's the reference that Becky posted for her Bitty Biter, which is very cool. It's going to be really, really nice. All the little flea bites. I like how there's a lot of tone to it. Sometimes you get the flea bit type horses that are just white or very, very light gray. This has a lot of cool tones to it. And then Ellen Kennedy was also painting a whole bunch of stuff in this ruffian big. Come on, Brain, we can do this. The blue guy, Big Lex, as a portrait of Big Lex. It's a ruffian head customized on a Atomic body, which is very cool. We have Elizabeth Rawlings, who is doing a Fireheart as this wicked black Tobiano reference with all that cat tracking. That's going to be really cool. Marty Wells is doing the Venti Noki as well as a Stone Mule and a whole bunch of good stuff. This is some of the peaks of Jill's stuff she's got going on, which is wild. That's so much. Carol is painting a awesome custom that she did of Fireheart as a hippocampus, which is very cool. Jerry's jumping in there to paint a Fireheart, which is awesome. I'm so excited. And I really like that color. So that's kind of the end of where the hashtags go. Tag Team Raven, like you can see down there, if you want me to show it on the stream and follow along with all your cool stuff that you're working on. The main NaMoPaiMo page is this guy. As my Facebook loads. And then even if you look in the recent media, you can see people working on tons and tons of stuff in various stages of prepping and painting and putting details on. This is Haley's biter. She just put an eyeball on it. Check out the marking on that thing. Morning. And, oh, the eye's not in the NaMoPaiMo thing. Nope. There's some really, really cool stuff. Sue Sudakum's doing a gem twist as a wild forest type unicorn, which is very cool. Some people are, looks like stripping already, or maybe stripping prior to. We've got a customized cob with its tail shortened, which is very cool, and a Han medallion, which I also did. Someone's doing the little dot horses, which is really neat. Basically anything and everything you could want is here. There's people doing pretty well every kind of medium. They're doing every kind of horse. You're going to see a lot of stuff that you might not have seen painted before being painted up, which is always very cool. Stephanie Blaylock was showing some of her techniques for using glazes of acrylic over top of that is the original pastel. And then when you add the glaze of the acrylic over top, it just kind of brightens and livens the color up. So there's some very, very cool stuff. Lots of people sharing techniques. There's Haley painting some more layers on her biter there. We have somebody customizing a chemo. It's very, very cool. There's some people doing 3D prints. And if you have any questions on how to do stuff, it's a really great opportunity to be able to ask that of people in the different threads and things that are going on. So if you just follow down here, you can post. People are posting kind of where they're at in polls. I am priming. So yeah, I'm part of the 17% that's priming ponies right now. There's other people doing, I can't start yet. I'm starting my horse and thinking. What day is it again? Stuck. There's so many cool things. And then, ooh, somebody broke their pony already. That sucks. That happens. Lots of people sharing different tools and things that they're using. It's very, very cool. It's so inspiring just to flick through and see what's going on. I can't get enough of it. We'll just like gobble it all up. Hopefully you guys are too, because it's a magical time of year. I'm going to check out the chat. See what I missed. Hi, Kinsey. Hi, Twyla. How's it going? Brenda started a medallion for the contest. Yay! Enter it. It's a great way to win a Bombas. Or... do I have one? No. I do not have an unpainted one handy. Or a Noki. So these are what I'm giving away. One of each. Randomly drawn, so you don't have to be the best of the best painter to win it. You just need to complete your pony and enjoy the NaMoPaiMo spirit. So, very, very cool. Teresa! You're here. Hello. Just came up with the coolest idea for NaMoPaiMo or whatever. Oh, there you go. Cool. Paint a pony. And it doesn't need to be official. You can just paint along. You don't need to have officially entered. to enjoy the event and the fun and the inspiration and all the good juju that comes along with it. Amy's saying, oh no, I'm tempted to try and get my mini fire art done. Do it, do it, do it. Lizzie is enjoying the cobs that are popping up. And it's a little bit harder to get a hold of stone bodies. So I know people are scrambling looking for that because they don't traditionally sell them as bodies and their pricing point isn't usually body pricing. So that's been a little bit challenging. People probably won't be doing the plastic version of the cob and repainting it. I happen to have a couple of those myself for my own purposes that you might see pop up in the future, but they are not easy to find. So you'll probably be seeing the resin versions or the pewter version. Michelle saying, I want to do that with my tater, turn her into a mare and paint her up like my quarter horse mare April. Just not for Namo. One day. That's very cool. I remember April from back in the day with Scorch. Lizzie, I want to do a few portraits of my horses. Tater will be one. Oh, that'll be so cool. We need to do more big Belgian-y things. Be fun. Sandy, hi Sandy. Don't see you chatting in the chat very often. Hi. I want to complete a few additional horses. That'll be cool. See, and you're allowed to do whatever you want and then have additional entries. Participating officially is fun, but not 100% required. In previous years, there used to be giveaways and things if you participated officially. That's the way you get involved in the collages officially, but it is not 100% requirement. Don't be super hard on yourself if you missed the deadline or had issues with the login or however that worked. Like Becky was saying, she had issues signing up. Then you don't need to worry about it too much. Don't be super hard on yourself because that doesn't help. So that's that for NaMo things. I've seen some other stuff pop up. Let's see if I can find this quick. There's a very cool custom I wanted to show you guys. Pardon my not being able to breathe. Hi, Julia. You're not that late. It's okay. So Holly's Hobbies did a very, very cool custom. You can find her on the Facebook. This is a Mojave custom with a Juggernaut head. And we had a custom or a contest a while back to win a Juggernaut head, and I randomly sent it out. And Holly was the one that happened to get it, which is very cool. So you can actually follow the process of the Mojave being cut up and customized with the Juggernaut head into a very, very cool bronc. And watching the process of it is very, very cool. So neat how cool his head looks on there. Like that there's Ice Age in the background too. And these wild poses are always challenging. And he's a thick plastic horse. So it can be a little bit challenging. You can see the evolution of trying to figure out where the neck's going to go and then changing the shaping of it. So it's kind of noodly here to get an idea of where it's kind of going. And then you'll see in a minute here, she changes the shape and gets it really nice. Adds a whole bunch of wrinkles and gets the feet right up by the face. More wrinkles on the other side. I like this pose. This is my favorite angle, I think. It's very cool. Whole bunch of wrinkles going on in the bum too. I like how that hip is splayed out as well, because that'll happen. You'll get that shift of the femur. And you can see how much work is being put into these things when you do a drastic custom. There's just so much and so much sanding and so much priming, and then more sanding and filling and cleaning. Trying to get the neck nice there. Butt picture. So this one will be a mare. There's primer going on, checking to see if there's stuff. That's kind of cool. Sorry. It booped me out. So primer going on. That's checking the anatomy, where the bones would go, and then where the outside of the flesh is, which is very cool. Can be very helpful to do that. And then you want to see different angles. I know people like Morgan will take critiques on and then draw the anatomy over whatever you're doing. That can be very helpful. So if you're struggling, that's not something that I offer right now. It's been little bit too crazy to be offering other extra stuff on top of what I'm trying to get done in the background. But Morgan's been great for that and helping people out with things. I try where I can, but I can't always fit it in. So very, very cool. So more epoxy going on, ribs going on, wire for hair, which is super fun. That's just so neat to see people getting back into the dress customs. And then that was the selfie for the contest. And then right before this, which it won't let me go back, you could see the veins going on. There's the finished custom. It's going to be super, super cool. So if you want to follow along, Holly's been posting that to NaMoPaiMo page, as well as, oh my goodness, my computer's like, yeah, no. Holly's Hobbies is the studio that you can follow to see the progress as well, which is very, very cool. Let's see. We do have a lot of talented people out there, and it's nice because you can see kind of where people start out. You're going to see some really ugly stages of mine, so don't worry about that. It'll be very, very apparent that we're all struggling with the same stuff, the same ugly stages. The people that have been doing this a long time tend to be able to just persevere through the ugly, horrid stages. Like, I've got stuff that you guys have seen some of the things that I've worked on as I progress. I should take some pictures of the really ugly stages of medallions, because it has me even questioning if I know what I'm doing and if I can salvage it. And then finish work is the exact same. We're all dealing with those same inner demons that are telling us that we're not good at this and that we should quit and that it's never going to be good enough. It's quite interesting. But this is a good opportunity to voice that and then chat with people in the community about how others are getting over it. If you're seeing everybody else go through it, it is always easier when you're not feeling like you're the only one dealing with it and alone. Hi, Maya. How's it going? The favorite one that I've seen so far is a weather girl into a hippocampus. I did see that one in there when I was scrolling through. It's very cool. It's got very water-like, well, I guess because it's a hippocampus, but very water-like, a lot of flow to the sculpting to it, which is kind of fun. Amy, forget the holidays. This and BreyerFest is the most wonderful time of the year. I kind of agree. There's a special kind of magic to it, and it's that community forming opportunity that just can recharge you for the whole year. That's definitely something you should take advantage of. Hi, Riley. How are you? Good morning, almost afternoon, maybe evening, or who knows what time it is where you are, depending on where you're checking in from. Jill, I'm late, but following along with closed captions. Hi, Jill. The captions don't recognize my Canadian accent very well, so you might have an interesting time, but that's okay. Captions are fun. Julia, I ended up passing on doing NaMoPaiMo because I haven't been able to prime a model. 4 degrees Fahrenheit weather. We are minus 31 currently here in Canada in Fahrenheit. So yeah, I get the priming problem. This is my guy currently. He obviously requires another layer of primer. I did my last little bit of prep, so you can see where he needs extra priming. And then I will be able to start him. I'm going to prime over him in white. My initial layer is done in Tamiya gray. I will do a layer of white over top of him. And then this is the crazy color that I've decided to paint him in. If I can find it. It is buried. Hang tight. Hold for processing. You know, it's been a long week when all my stuff is buried. Hi, Bobby. What are you doing? What are you doing? I don't know if you have a toy. Oh, he brought his monkey down. That's kind of cute. Okay, maybe I'll have to pull it up on Facebook because it's not letting me. That is his monkey. He's very proud of his monkey. Hi, I know. You brought your monkey. You're very cute. Let's go to Crystal Studios, and I will show you my colors. Actually, I forgot. There we go. I'll show you my selfie too, because why not? We all have to take an embarrassing selfie as part of the process. So this is my selfie. This is my registration here. I covered my code so that you guys can't, I don't know, submit my finished entry for me. And then this is the color that I'm going to do in not the best resolution, but that's okay. You can get the point. Don't break things over there. Hey. He's like, I found a new toy. So it's based off of a sea slug that I thought had a really cool color and pattern. I ad-lib mapped it onto a Bombus, and this is what I'm going to try. I'm going to try and make it glow in the dark and have some fun color shifts. It'll have some pretty wild transitions. It'll need a lot of masking, which I haven't done very much before. And I'm going to use the airbrush, which is not something that I have a lot of experience with, because the spirit of NaMoPaiMo in part is to challenge yourself. So we're going to try something crazy, see how this works. Dale Ann, hello, welcome. Rayleigh's saying, I'm turning a Picasso into a bowing horse. I don't know if I post it to Model Horse Customizers. I have a long way to go. Very cool. Yeah, you can post it and let me know. It'd be kind of fun. I don't know. There's one customizing group I'm not a part of because of who owns it and moderates it. So we'll not go into too much detail about that. But there's one customizing group that I'm not a part of. So if you're sharing cool stuff and I'm not in there replying or liking your stuff, then that would be why. And I can't remember what the name of it is. It's one of the customizing ones. So we'll see how this goes with the color variation. It'll be a big challenge, and I'm going to have some interesting fun with it. It is fun because the colors kind of match my logo, which is kind of neat. I didn't pick it because of that. It was just a happy accident. Oh, and then Microsoft just brought up a whole crazy window of stuff. No, I don't want a window. Get. Dale says, I was tempted to join, have lots of real life stuff going on, decided to keep myself somewhat sane and enjoying everybody else's work. So you can take a less strict approach, not necessarily enter officially, but paint something along at the same time, or just enjoy everybody else doing it. Nothing wrong with that. Katie, hi Katie. We were sharing a piece earlier. Rayleigh says the ugly stages are very challenging to deal with, but if you keep your head on straight, it all works out. Yeah, it's pretty much just a game of perseverance and hanging in there through all the ugly crazy until you get to the point where you're happy. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Happens to all of us, even the people that you don't think ever make anything horrible or ever make a mistake, or we have secret things that don't make it, that just get pushed into the corner. He likes playing with his monkey himself, and he'll throw it around. It's kind of cute. Amy says, when painting, layers solve everything. That's how it usually seems. Julia, it's always a little gratifying knowing that the big name artists are going through it too. Yeah, that's why I love this event, because you get to see that we're just the same as you guys and going through the same stuff. We have the like, oh my God, do I have to strip it? Like moments, or this is trash, or I just broke its freaking ear off and now I want to throw it across the room, or maybe I did throw it across the room and break all of its legs too, because opa, right? The captions thinks it's spelled Breyer too, Brier. It's an interesting closed caption system. It doesn't understand me. Hi Susan, how's it going? Saskabush here is where Rayleigh's from. I'm only an hour difference in time, and it's cold. It is very cold. I don't want to go outside at all. And then he has a little jacket that I have just in case it gets a little bit too cold. But yeah, way, way too cold. What part of Canada am I in? Oh my goodness. I am in Alberta. So Airdrie, Alberta, which is southern Alberta. We're not too far from the Montana border, and Montana, Washington, just underneath us, kind of above that area. But we have the Rocky Mountains coming through, which kind of gives us some weird weather patterns. Sometimes it gets really cold, and then sometimes we get some weird air that chases all the cold out. And then we get warm, which is our Chinooks. And so we get a nice warm break. So we've had some really nice warmness, and now we're in for some cold. So we've got a whole bunch of wood for the fireplace. Julia's got a jet. Have a good week. Bye. Thanks for coming. Smoosh his face. I do that so often just because he's got a squishy, wrinkly forehead, and it's adorable. Brenda's saying it's minus 25 in Red Deer. Cat. Hi, Cat. Wanted to do Namo, but still getting our new house together. Puppy said, what happened to my closet? What closet? Oh my goodness. Yes, it's amazing how crazy the moving can get out of hand. So take care of life first. Don't stress over NaMoPaiMo. It shouldn't be causing you any coronaries. Judy. Hi, Jody. How's it going? So Slug. Gail is excited about the slug. It's going to be so gorgeous. So Slug. People were telling me interesting facts about slugs that I can't share here or else I would get kicked off Facebook. But look up interesting facts about sea slugs. Let us see. Carol's saying bestest color. Who would look at sea slugs? I was just looking at random stuff and I found a sea slug and I'm like, these are all really cool colors. And that one in particular is extra cool. Kat's asking, do you ever find yourself with a piece that sits for months or years before you finally hear its voice completely? I will close this window and see that blue box. That is my shelf or my box of abandoned souls. And that is basically a whole bunch of sculptures that got started or got close or got really close or broke at the last stages, and they sit in the bucket and they are in detention until I decide to do something with them. So there's been a few sculptures that have taken me a long time. In recent history, I haven't picked up anything that's too old that has been brought back to life and released, but it does happen sometimes. A lot of times when they've been sitting there for a while, then I have to restart it. But leaving them on the shelf for a little while can sometimes help solve some of the crazy problems of, I don't know what I'm doing here, or something looks wrong and I can't figure it out. So that's part of the process. Usually if you leave it too long, though, then you end up having to redo the whole thing, and then I just redo it entirely. I have a barrel racing horse that's been in there, Firefly. What else is in that box? There's a whole bunch of stuff that lives in that box that maybe one day I'll show. And maybe one day I'll have you guys vote on something to resurrect and redo, because there's a lot of cool stuff in there still. So sometimes it just takes a little coaxing. Most of the time now I can just push through with perseverance and get through, even if I have to put them on the shelf for a month or two. But there was a lot of stuff at the beginning that I just was so frustrated by how it didn't want to work, and then had to get my skills caught up to be able to finish it to a place where I want. Amy's like, I still want to see inside the box of abandoned souls. Getting all excited. And Lizzie, I want to raid it and then take them home. Rayleigh says, I finally got an airbrush. Going to be experimenting outside this spring. Can't wait to not be strictly hand painting. Hand painting is very challenging compared to airbrush. So, although airbrushes can be picky. So I have two here. Oh, that was attached to a cord. I have 3 primary airbrushes that I'll be using. There we go. And I have a quick change connector to it. So you can see at the bottom how it has these little connectors. It has a quick change, so you can just pop it on and off. One of these is a 0.4 needle nozzle set, and then the other one's a 0.2. So I can go from really tiny details to bigger, depending on what I'm doing. And then I have an Iwata. I have an AWOL Iwata that is a CPCS Iwata Revolution, and it will do kind of bigger stuff. These ones are a little bit more precise. These ones are Cult of Paint Infinity, so they're Harder and Steinbeck brand, basically. This was their Cult of Paint edition that came from a place in the US. I like these guys a little bit more than the Iwata, even though my Iwata is entry level and I haven't tried, say, the Micron. They have a nice trigger. They're aluminum. They're a little bit lighter. It had a lot more adjustments to it. And then the new ones that they just came out with, they've changed a whole bunch of stuff. They can do a little bit better detail. And they've moved this whole mechanism up to the front so that it's more like a paintbrush than you're sitting back here trying to paint little things from such a distance. That seems to be very helpful for people that are doing details because you're basically sitting on your brush right here. They have the opportunity to have little tiny cups, which are great for little tiny details. And yeah, I like them so far. It has an adjuster here so I can limit how far this goes. So that'll limit how much air I can spray, and it'll change kind of, well, paint. So this is air is down, paint is back. See, I'm not like super advanced with the airbrush, but we're going to have some fun. I will see how that all works. So that's my main setup. I've got my compressor. I have a whole bunch of different paints. The majority of which are either Golden Brand or they are Vallejo, Game, or Model Air. I have some of these Tamiya ones to try too, but they have to be diluted, which I don't think I'm going to get into with this particular project. But I also have these, which are fun. So this is Turbo Dork, and this is what I think I'm going to paint a lot of him in, is these Turbo Dork paints. I picked up some new ones. So this one is Ice to Never. They have some really fun colors. So you can see it's a color shift from kind of a lighter tealy blue to a purple. They also have some cool holographic colors. There's a Green Stuff World is some of the brands that I have. That's another holographic color shift. Rainbow Roll. Let's see if I can find it. And I have some of the Vallejo color shifter stuff too. So I'll have no end of crazy colors that I can do. Let's see if we can find Rainbow Roll for you guys. Green Stuff World does do some really cool color shifts as well. This is Darth Blue, which is one of my favorites. And all of this side is basically all color shift. So yeah. Where the heck did my Rainbow Roll go? Come on. I have 2 bottles of it. You did oh, aha. So for those of you wanting to paint in Rainbow Holographic, Turbo Dork Rainbow Roll would be what you want to go with. It does need to be airbrushed to get the distribution of the rainbow holographic pigments onto whatever it is. If you're hand painting it, it's not as effective. Same with the Green Stuff World. So I don't know why I'm shaking it. Shake it and put it on my fingers so you can see. It's really trippy to see the distribution of the pigments too. If you put like it on a paper, how it does weird things to your eyeballs. So yeah, I picked up for this guy a magenta Vallejo model color. This is Lunar Eclipse by Turbo Dork. So this one's kind of like a magenta-y purple gold. It's kind of hard to see the color shift. You can almost see the gold at that end, and then that's into like a darker eggplanty purple. This one's just called Dork, which is a brighter tealy color to a more just light blue. And then this guy is Afterburner. So he's got some of those really cool oranges. And I'm going to have to play a lot with his colors because I don't know what the heck I'm doing at all. Afterburner is kind of a gold to a copper-ish shift. And most of these you can also apply with just a paintbrush, pardon me, if you wanted to. And then you can add other effects on it depending on what you're doing. Katie said I did read that correctly. What? Dork, named after me, pretty much. So there's a funny story about this. I said this is now my favorite paint because when my husband and I were dating and he first told me he loved me, I called him a dork. That was my immediate response. It wasn't like, you're so sweet or I love you too. It was like, dork. So, yeah, dork. So when I saw that there was a brand of paint called Turbo Dork and I found it in a local hobby shop, I absolutely had to have it. And then because I was there, I don't know if I'm going to use this on him, but I found a liquid gold by Vallejo that is going to be really cool. So I don't know if it is airbrushable. I haven't looked into that yet, but it is old gold and it was liquid gold and I needed to have it because that's how that works. They also sell some really cool surface primers. So I picked up a couple. These are kind of not technically relevant because I'm not going to use it on him. But if you wanted to airbrush a primer and you're sensitive, because I saw somebody asking about the aerosol airbrush or aerosol primers and things, they can't use that because of the chemicals in the aerosol. You can airbrush primer, and then Vallejo makes some really cool colors. So you could do a base coat in, and you could custom mix these too if you wanted to get a certain base coat color. I still wouldn't necessarily leave primer exposed 100%, but it'll give you a base coat to start from. So you could put something like this down and then do a dark bay over top with pigments or whatever if you wanted to. And it's a little easier to airbrush a base coat inside and have a vent to outside than it is to try and spray an aerosol can, because there's a reason why people are sensitive to the aerosol gunk. But yeah. He says, dork, named after me. Yeah, dork. Turbo, dork. And it also had turbo in it. My horse's name is Turbo, so that's the thing. Rayleigh's asking for a recommendation of paint brands to find in Canada. It kind of depends on what you're doing. I tend to gravitate towards golden, but you can see all of my golden paints up there. Anything that you can find in an art store that's quality. I tend not to use, I know some people like the Joe Sonia paints quite a bit for airbrushing or hand painting. I don't have experience with those. I can't speak to it, but a lot of people do. Someone like DJB uses them quite exclusively and really likes it. So that's another option. They're available in Canada. And Turbo Dork, because who doesn't want anything like that? There's been a little bit of controversy about Vallejo paint and how some of their stuff may not be standing up to quality, but I think that was coming up in regards to striking and stuff from the employees. So I don't know. I haven't had issues with them. I don't airbrush a ton, but you got to kind of test things and see what you like. Part of my experience with all of this is going to be playing with things and seeing what works and what doesn't. Speaking of that, I'm going to try masking with a masking pen for mine, because you can see my pattern is quite complicated. So this will allow me to mask in all of those areas. So I'll spray the initial color down, get that where I want it, apply masking to it, probably seal it first, just in case. Apply masking to it, and then this pen puts the masking down. It's kind of a one-shot use. So once you've broken the seal and started to use this, apparently that's it. You kind of only have a very short, limited time to be able to use this. So it would be like a 1 to 2 project deal before all the gunk just clogs everything up and you can't use it anymore. Whereas traditional masking in a bottle, you'd be able to keep applying that. And I don't think you'd want to run that through an airbrush. So I'm going to try with the masking pen to mask out all those stripes. I will try and show the process as much as I can, because it might be messy, guys, but we're going to do it. And then we'll give this guy a go. I've heard good things. I don't know that it's been used on models yet, but we'll give her a try. Because this is going to be wild. And then that'll allow me, if I mask over top of it, to be able to put the stripe layer over top and spray it down without having to hand paint it all. But if my plan A fails, I will have to do plan B, which will be hand painting all of that. So pray for my soul, because I don't know how that's going to work. Let me get out of that. So there's a lot of really complex colors that'll have to go into it. Airbrushes are well known for being princesses and not working all the time. Part of the reason why I have technically 3 of them and then 2 of these guys, it allows me to, if something's messed up, not cry and hate my life, because I will have a spare that I could use even if it's a little bit different. So we'll see. He's not a small horse, so there'll be a lot of coverage that'll be required to get all the things in the places I need. I'm going to play with some of those paints and see what I like the effects of. A lot of it will be trial and error and just having fun. So you'll get to see me do the thing. Really? Did you see the Pegasus I posted? Peacock inspired, a lot of colors that would look great on it. I did not see that one, I don't think. So I'll try and take a peek through and see if I can find your stuff. Dale Ann says, I stumbled across some older artwork that I really like, but never finished. Why? I have no idea. I was very tempted to grab it and finish it. Do it! Can't hurt, right? If it's already like sitting in a shelf and not finished, you're not going to mess it up. So, cat, dork, and nerd are absolutely terms of endearment, no matter what my kids say. I agree. You could use it slanderously, I guess, if you really wanted to, but I think that's why tone and intention make a big difference. If you're calling each other dork, it's true love. Yeah, pretty much. Let's see. Oh, it's all good. Hi, Annie. How's it going? Welcome. Good morning to you, because you're California. Hope you have luck with those, says Kat. I had an awful time with that brand, Molito. Oh, okay. It'll be interesting. They make a really cool chrome pen, too, that I really like, and I'd heard good things about this, so we'll give her a go. I'll see if I can make it work. If not, I have other options for masking. I think I have the Vallejo liquid mask and a couple of other masking products. So this isn't my only option, but it just seemed kind of a neat one. So we'll see how that goes. Maybe I'll just resort to flicking it with masking juice and then making it a leopard Appaloosa after all. Nobody knows. So yeah. I did pick up some Kolinsky Sable brushes too. So the brush that I'll use for my detailing primarily will be my Kolinsky Sable. This is a Winsor Newton Series 700. They keep their tips really nice. You got to baby them a little bit. And then I picked up a Tamiya brush that has a tiny little Kolinsky Sable tip on it for all my little details. And then these are also Kolinsky Red Sable brushes. I quite like the Red Sable ones. They tend to hold their tips really nicely. They tend to work really nicely. And then I've obviously got other brushes and stuff I'll use. But like I said, he's primarily going to be airbrushed, so I won't be hand painting a lot of the stuff on there. And then I have all of my neons as I drop my fancy brush. So there's a neon fluorescent blue that will glow under black light. It'll glow under black light, like the fluorescent green and yellow do. I am losing my voice getting so excited talking about NaMoPaiMo. So yeah, I'll be mixing things in. I do want to have a glow element and then color shift. There'll probably be Perlex that I'll mix into the paint. You can mix Perlex into airbrush paint as long as you put it through the right size of airbrush, because it'll clog most of them. That's why I originally got the Iwata CS Revolution, because it was the one that could handle Perlex going through it, because I like sparkles. Masking juice, says Lizzie. What else are you gonna call it? I don't know. It's masking juice. Yeah. And then you guys will get a kick out of this. So I was at the model shop buying all of my paints and getting all excited about the colors, and then I went to leave and something caught the corner of my eye, and they had Choose Your Own Adventure books. So those are the ones where you go through and you get to pick your path, and then your path eventually splits, and some of those paths you'll die. Some of them, well, most of them you'll probably die. And then there are 2 possibilities for success at the end. So it'll be really interesting to see. I haven't read one of these in a long time, but they have lots of different unicorn versions of them, which is kind of cool. So I don't know. A little bit of nostalgia. I got very excited because I remember these very well from being a kid. The juice of one mask. One mask was harmed in the making of this juice. So that'll be interesting to see how all of this goes. I do have another option for masking as well. This is camouflage masking putty. It is made for the airbrush. It's basically silly putty. Ooh, it's dark. You can see the chat. And then this you would, like silly putty. It's not going to let me pull it out. So if you wanted to have like a little thingy on him, you can mask off an area, spray around that. And it gives you, depending on how you put the putty on there, crisper or less crisp lines. I've used this in the past before for medallions and masking things off, and it works pretty good. I don't know that I would use any silly putty. I wouldn't advise that. I would use ones to be 100% safe unless you test them that are meant for airbrushing, because you don't know if it's going to pick stuff up if it's a certain color or has some additive in it, or if it's going to harm your finish. So I would suggest finding the proper stuff or experimenting before you decide to put it on something that you care about. What else is going on here? I will be using Flow Improver and Airbrush Thinner by Vallejo. I quite like both of these products. They just lube the paint a little bit better and will thin out paint that's a little bit thicker, which sometimes happens. Hey, no dumpster diving. Yes, you know that's bad. And then I'll be posting my adventures as we go, and I'll update in the streams as we go for next week. And I do want to do a painting party at some point where... Hi, buddy. I squeeze him for you. I do want to do a painting party at some point, so I'll figure out if I'm going to do that by Zoom or if we'll just hang out here and I'll paint stuff while we talk in the chat. I will find out what will work best, because we'll have to see how many people sign up, because that limits my ability to do the things. I got these in the mail before I forget. Paint Pony Studios sent me awesome stickers again. I really, really, really like this design. And sorry it's randomly in the middle of the stream, but it is very, very cool. And then came with prints, because prints are awesome. I will stick these on cool stuff. But I like how the spots are what's holographic and shiny there. And for whatever reason, my brain just delights in that idea. So yeah, I will be starting my pony hopefully today. I got a primer, obviously that last layer, and then maybe I'll start him later on today, depending on how this works. I'm probably going to airbrush primer him because it's really cold outside and I can't really prime outside right now. It'll just freeze in midair and not hit the actual model. So yeah. Amy's saying, please do it here because I don't zoom. Yeah, that might be an option if you guys want to do it that way, because I can have the camera on me and then the camera on what I'm working on, and we can chat and chat, and then you can paint along. I know some people don't like being seen on camera, so maybe that's the easiest way to do it. And I can kind of have as many people on here as I want and do it on Facebook and YouTube at the same time. So maybe that's the best option. Let me know in the chat what you guys think, and then I'll do it that way. And then if there's a specific, well, maybe we'll do it after a stream, be like the ending of a stream, or I don't know. I got to figure it out. There's too many details. My brain gets wrapped up in the details. Too much. Kim saying, what model store do you support? I am not in the States, so I cannot give you the best option for the US. And then for Canada, we have a couple local stores that I can just drive to. So I try and support them. If you're not in Alberta and not near Calgary, then that doesn't help you out very much. So it would kind of depend on what you're up to. And then I'll sometimes buy direct from Breyer. But with recent issues with Canada Post and customs and shipping costs, that is a little bit more restricted these days. So unfortunately, I'm probably not the best person to ask. But check out what people say in the transaction boards. That'll give you a good idea of what a good place is and what a bad place is. There are some places that obviously have bad reputations, and there are some places that have good reputations. As he says, love that design. I actually upgraded my membership just to get the print. Yes, I love it. So pretty. All right. Gail saying no zooming here. Maybe that's easy. Then you don't need to have a Zoom account either. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll do two. Maybe I'll do one on Zoom, one here. I don't know. Katie says I can be a Zoomer. Gen Zoom. Is that a thing? I don't know. Maybe it's a thing. All right. On that note, I'm going to let you guys go before I just degrade into just silly craziness. Make sure to check out the stuff that's going on in NaMoPaiMo. People are posting to Facebook and Instagram using various hashtags. Check it out if you can. You'll probably see people that'll be posting stuff to YouTube and TikTok most likely as well that has to do with NaMoPaiMo. And I will try and incorporate some filmed content as I go of how I'm doing things and how I'm messing things up, because you know it's going to happen. We're going to have some gloriously beautiful catastrophes at the same time as we're having a lot of fun. And hopefully at the end it's salvageable. Nobody knows. Stay tuned to find out. All right. I'll see you guys next Sunday, and I will keep you in the loop about what's going on in the studio as we go on various socials. You can follow me on Facebook or Instagram. I'm also on YouTube, where this also streams if you prefer this to Facebook. And we will see you next week for lots of fun on Sunday, probably around 10:30 or so in the morning Mountain Time. All right. In the meantime, have lots of fun. Spread lots